Poised as Dr. Meyer was, and I'm trying not to cry, so I'm just going to read what I wrote. I'm standing here today in front of you because of life-saving research. I was officially diagnosed with Crohn's disease. It'll be 29 years ago this summer, shortly before leaving for college. At first, I was relieved to finally have a name for while I'd double over in pain, vomit after eating, and be constantly exhausted. But I had no idea how hard the road ahead of me would be. Since then, I've tried all the treatments, traditional and alternative, had so many hospitalizations and surgeries to remove diseased parts of my intestines, including an emergency one. I've experienced anemia, infertility, malnutrition, osteoporosis, an ileostomy, short bowel syndrome, and I've relied on IV nutrition and hydration. It's been so very hard, but I've also gained so much. Along the way, I became a proud social worker. I got involved with this foundation as a patient support group facilitator and as a Camp Oasis counselor. And that's where I met my husband, Shane. I was welcomed into his family unconditionally because his brother, Kevin, who's also here today, has Crohn's disease. I had a son, Caden, who is thankfully very healthy and now quite a bit taller than me, thankfully. And I found a very compassionate and responsive healthcare team who always shows up for me, and they showed up for me again here today. And it might have been fate that also led me to complete a PhD, which gave me an ever-growing appreciation of the role that research would come to play in my own life. I got progressively sicker as time passed. And last year, after exhausting all treatment options, I enrolled in my second clinical trial for a stem cell transplant, a procedure typically reserved for cancer patients. It was grueling. I underwent intensive chemotherapy and spent over 6 weeks hospitalized away from my family. I am just one of about 25 Crohn's disease patients in the entire country who've undergone this experimental procedure. And as a result, after 28 years, I went into remission for the first time in my life. So that's why I'm here today, because that's the power of research. That's what research can do. Research saved my life. Research gave me hope that life could be better. Living with IBD can mean invisible pain, tough decisions, daily uncertainty, and often isolation. But I've learned that surrounding yourself with people who understand, and by working to help others, this can be its own kind of healing. And the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation helps so many of us find that connection. I hope for a future where no one loses years of their life to these diseases, where quality of life is not just okay, but good or great. And where remission is not just a possibility, but a promise, and someday a cure. And that future only becomes real through research, bold, innovative, and inclusive research that's led by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. So I thank you, each and every one of you, from the bottom of my heart, for showing up today, for yourself, for your loved one, and for those who haven't been diagnosed yet. You have no idea how much your presence here matters and takes us one step closer to a future without inflammatory bowel disease. Thank you.
Keep it going for Rebecca. Keep it going for Rebecca. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you for your strength, your courage, your resilience for being here and sharing your story and sharing the message of research today.
I am not sure why